Hello. I'm gonna be, as you can tell from the consistency within the last couple of videos I've been posting for this month, I'm gonna be reading some love stories. So, because it's the month of love and Valentine's Day. So, as you can tell from the title, this one is called My First Love, and let's just get right into it. This is a story about my first year of my relationship with the girl I love. I suppose it started back in July 2017. She started dating my best friend at the time. They were in a relationship for a few weeks and ended it on bad terms. While they were dating, I had only seen her one time. I didn't really say much to her as I am very shy and socially awkward person. I think I managed to get a few hellos out, but nothing more than that. The next time I met with her, it was October 31st. To be honest, I don't really remember that night much. I was blacked out drunk for majority of it. But at this time, things seemed to be okay between her and my friend. And that's how I started talking with her a little more. In late November, we started talking in group chats. Online, I am a lot less awkward and able to talk to other people. So this was great way for me to start talking to her. I started to become more friendly with her and started realizing that she was not how my best friend made her out to be at all. We started hanging out more and more time I spent with her, the closer I felt to her. We were quite few people in our there were quite a few people in our friend group, and I couldn't quite explain why. But I felt I had some sort of bond with her. I couldn't connect with her in that way. I couldn't connect with other people. Usually, I hate it when people hug me. But when she does it, it always felt warm and comforting. Where our relationship progressed was it was on New Year's Eve. I had one of my depressive episodes and ended up leaving all the group chats I was in. At the time, I felt really lonely as I destined to never be happy. She ended up finding me she ended up private messaging me, asking me what's wrong and why was feeling that way. There was only a few people that know of my crap of show of my childhood. I felt comfortable talking to her about it. She seemed to have a perfect response to everything. While After a while I felt a little better about myself and I've never forgot some of the things that I have said that night. January. We hung out once a week, usually in a group of 7. At this point, I considered her a very close friend of mine. Without wanting a sound like a white knight SJW, I felt like I wanted to look out for her as much as possible. In the group were a few guys, really creepy, and how they treated her made me feel upset and angry. I wasn't too sure why I felt so strongly towards her. I was convinced that I can't like her due to being my best friend's ex. Seeing that way with guys were in her lead during drinking rather heavily, mainly because I felt like there was nothing I could do. Substantially, I think I knew that I liked her then. In fact, I couldn't say anything or do anything really to go to me, start to bring back depression. I don't usually get angry, and I never usually self harm, but the only thing I could do was punching myself instead. Usually my hands were really bruised or until my face was bleeding. Yes, I'm aware how dumb I sound right now. I was in a very bad state mentally. I ended up telling her what was making me feel like that, and she thanked me for it is. And that made her feel uncomfortable too. That this is towards the start of February of 2018 now. My friend asked me if I liked her, which I replied with, I don't know. I feel as if I can't because you used to date, and if I did, would be a betrayal in our friendship. He was surprisingly good about it and didn't seem to mind. In fact, he told me to go for it. We're in February now, and I had decided that I was going to tell her I liked her. I have never been in a relationship with someone at this point. Never, never even held a girl's hand, let alone a kiss. Saying I was, I was sitting, it would be an understatement. I thought to myself, how she she ever see me like that? She could ever see me dating a girl? She dating an ugly 6'7" fat, in my opinion, autistic, depressed, long-haired person who extreme social anxious anxieties. Ugh. She was around 5'6" compared to uh, she well, she's a genius, slim, and the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. Every time I talk to her, all of the troubles just seem to disappear, and I just be myself and am happy for a change. But quite a lot of thoughts into my how I was going to tell her. I was going to do on the first Valentine's. Outside of the pub, usually going to. I wasn't drinking that night, so I wanted to make it serious. I I had to quit a few opportunities to tell her that night. I ended up getting too nervous and I couldn't do it. I really did want to tell her in person, but I ended up telling her how I felt online. I don't think she knew how to take it. She said that was a lot to take in and that she'd need a while to think about it. It took four really long and nervous, reckless days, but we agreed to meet ourselves and talk about it. Something we've never had done at the point. That night, I was really anxious, my stomach having stomach pains. Couldn't stop shaking. It wasn't sure if I could go. I knew that I couldn't do that to her and went. It was a quite muddy day that day. We met at a train station in the town we usually hung out on. I couldn't start a conversation. Thankfully, she did the most of the talking that day. It was my first time I ever spent time with another girl by myself. I was 21. We walked up the hill and sat on the top of the bench. We really muddied that day. We decided that because not how her last relationship ended, she didn't want to rush into anything, and she wanted to see how things go before we decided to start on a relationship. We spent a long day together, and slowly became more comfortable talking to her in person. Within a week, I was able to start a conversation and carry them on. Then I was really nervous though. I wasn't sure what to acceptable. To the point I asked her if it was okay if I held her hand. On the 3rd of March, it was snowing. We met up, and at this point, I really wanted to know if she could see up being in a relationship. So I asked her. She said yes. I never forgot that day. At first, the date was decided. We decided to watch Black Panther. I didn't like it, but I did get salsa on my shirt due to a person previously sitting on my seat. We wanted to take it slow, and we did. A few weeks for me was comfortable of kissing her. For the first time I kissed her, it was up on the hill. The one usually goes up talking about things. That's almost something I never gotten. I will never gotten my first kiss. Nearly a year now without you, I'd still be intro kiss, less virgin than I was, and loved every single moment. We've been sleeping together in the same bed every night for the last 6 months now. While you're in hospital, it really does make you feel empty and lonely without you. So Kate, if you ever come across this post, I love you, and I can't spend many more years with you. Lots more happened, but I realized this was getting really, really long. So those who are reading this through this as well, well done. I'm sorry for the typos and bad grammar. It's nearly 4 a.m. So that was that story. That was so cute. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are, and don't forget to subscribe and all that should be all. I do have a vlogging channel if you want to go check that out. It's in the description below, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hey everyone, I just want to let you guys know that if you want to make that little extra income or have a better lifestyle, there is a link in the description below for you guys. You can make as little as $100 a month, if not more, if you want to make that little extra cash month to month, or just even want a better lifestyle, whether it's growing up your hair and prevent wrinkles, to get rid of dark under your eyes, whatever it may be, this is the best fit for you. In the description below, it's the first link in there. If you're interested, there's steps down there for you. I hope you guys give it a try. It's amazing. I love it. I wouldn't do this if it wasn't for you guys, and recommend it to you guys if I didn't love it.